Okay, 6 o'clock. It's time for us to start. Roger, would you have a roll call? And
Larry Chesney.
here.
Bruce Damrose absent. Stan Hedrick. Here. Brian King.
Here.
Joe Everett's absent. We have a quorum.
The first item on the agenda is the last month's minutes. Any changes to the minutes of last month? Or do I hear a motion to approve as written?
Second.
Brian made a motion to approve.
Second.
Danny, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The minutes for the last meeting are approved. The first subject, can we have your attention, please? Sir, have your attention, please. The first item on the agenda tonight is the side setback requirements on 566 Disco Loop Road in Friendsville. Roger?
This request is for the variance from the side setback requirements at 566 Disco Loop Road. The property is identified on tax map 33P, Group A, Parcel 3, and is zoned R1. The required setback is 10 feet. The applicant has replaced an existing manufactured home with a new one at this location. A survey of the property shows that the home encroaches 1.5 to 2 feet over the setback line. This request is for a 2-foot variance, which will leave 8 feet side setback. The house had to go in the approximate location of the old one due to the septic system. The old house was grandfathered, but it did sit against the side property line opposite of the one where we are discussing. That situation has been corrected with the new home. This lot is 89 feet wide and the structure's 77 feet across, which makes this a very tight fit. And I included the survey there for you to look at. The old home used to sit right over on the property line on the I guess that's the southeast property line.
Anyone here in favor of this request? No one here related to this request? Do you have anything to add to what Roger has said? Could you want to come up and give us your name, please?
My name's Darrell Waldrop. I'm with Clayton.
Darrell?
Darrell Waldrop, W-A-L-D-R-O-P.
Okay, Darrell.
I'm with Clayton Homes in Sweetwater. The customer, we needed a little bit more room on the right side of the property to get the driveway in. So we shifted the house a little bit to the left, and we thought we were right on a setback line, but the lender required a placement survey. And when the surveyor brought this to me, we realized that we were over the line approximately about 1.5 feet.
Is the house already set?
Yes, sir, it is.
Roger, if the lot is 89 and the structure is 77, that's 12 feet total.
Mm-hmm.
So if one side is 8 feet, the other side is 4 feet?
Was it?
Pardon?
Well, the survey shows its location. If you've got that. in
Can
front
you
of
answer
you.
that question?
What's the question, sir?
Our information says that the lot is 89 feet wide. The structure is 77 feet long. Is that correct?
It's actually 76.
Okay, so that's 13 feet total. So that says you've got 6 feet on each side if you centered it. On this side, you've got an 8-foot setback, which means on the other side, you only got a 5-foot setback.
I don't
Right.
know. Well, this was the the survey that was provided to me by the surveyor, it shows that we're within the setback on the right side if you're facing the house from Disco Loop, but the left side is just about a foot over the line.
So one of these numbers is wrong, unless I can't subtract.
And I'm certain.
Oh, I see there's an extra, okay, I see it. That 89 feet's from that point, pin to that pin, and then there's another pin right out here. So that is actually wider.
So it's more than 89 feet wide.
Yes. Yes, it looks like it's 99.8 feet
So you have to
wide.
add that number and that number.
Yes,
Is that right?
that's correct.
So the 89 plus 11.
So there's an extra 10 feet out there.
Yeah, that's 100.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's my error. I didn't see that.
So the 89 feet wide is actually about 100, approximately 100. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Any other questions?
How do you do home sales? Because we had one last month too, from Clayton, and the owners didn't show up either. But what do you do, just sell them as big a home as they think they might want and try to squeeze it in there, or?
No, we knew that it would fit. And what happened was when they asked for a little bit more room on the right side, we thought the customer thought they knew where the property line was. So we pushed it over to that. We should have had the surveyor come out and mark the left side so we knew exactly where the setback was. But, we thought we were right on it, which is where the existing house that was there before was where this one is sitting now.
How big a home was there before?
16 by 76, or it may have been 16 by 72. I'm not exactly
And this one
sure.
is 16 by 7?
No, this one is 28 by 76.
The other way to look at this is before the house was right on the line.
Correct.
At least now, there's some variance on both sides.
The aerial photo shows the old home actually
Okay,
from the opposite side we're talking about,
Right.
on the
Okay.
property line. So, there's room for error on these aerial photos because they're photos.
Right.
So it depends on the angle, but usually no more than 4 or 5 feet. So that one would have been,
okay.
All
All right, any other questions?
Just for interest, whose responsibility is it to determine if it's going to meet the codes or not? The property owner or Clayton's who is selling and placing a trailer?
It would be Clayton's.
Okay. Okay.
Any other questions for Darrell? Is there anyone here that's opposed to this request? Okay, I see none. Okay, members, questions, discussion?
It's already been set, it's there now.
It's there now.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've got water and power. They're actually living in the home.
Well, just for interest, if we said, no, you can't do that, what does Clayton's do? Come in and remove the home?
No, I would have to take the house apart.
Well, you'd have to move it.
Yeah, I would have to take it apart and move it over roughly 1.5 feet.
Could you move it 1.5 feet?
Yeah, we could.
Okay.
Yeah, it would. I've never had to move one, but I'm guessing, $6,000 or $7,000 to take it apart and move it and put it back together.
So we're asking for a 2-foot variance there.
Yes. Which leaves an 8-foot setback versus a required 10. And then on the other side now, that we know it's 100 feet versus the 76. We know we have 24 feet total. So if you centered it, it'd be 12 and 12. So now it's going to be 8 and 16.
From a setback standpoint, it's better than what was out there. So it's not a degradation of the situation. I would say it's an improvement.
You haven't got anything back from the neighbors and problematic, no?
I tell you what I'd ask, since it's Clayton's baby, in deals like, and I'm sure in mobile homes, it's going to be a situation where a lot of them is in a close proximity to property lines. But I'd ask that in the future, you go ahead and survey it to where you know exactly where it's going to sit.
Yes, sir.
To where we
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
do this. That's, you know, homeowners are the same way. They should survey it before they start building, so
Sure.
mobile homes no different.
Yeah, I agree with you.
To follow up on Stanley's point, so who in Clayton are you going to communicate this to, that this situation doesn't come back to us again? Because this is the second time in 2 months we've had the same issue with Clayton.
I will send an email to my regional vice president in the morning and I'm sure it's happened other places. If it's happened here twice, it's happened in the other counties. And make him aware of it and have him send out an email to all the stores to make sure that we survey the property first. You know, so we're fully aware of where the setback lines are and it doesn't happen again.
Could you copy Roger on that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Or your successor.
You're all in.
For a week.
That's right.
No, per day.
Somebody, do not delete your emails. We will be checking your server. Anything else, guys? So you'll follow through that email. You'll copy Roger on the email.
I will.
And then we won't have this next month with Clayton.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Gotcha.
If you do,
You
you
got a
move the
card,
trailer
Roger?
next month.
Pardon me?
Next month, you can move the trailer.
Yes, sir, I understand. Yeah. Do you have a card, Roger, with your email address on it? No?
Not with me.
Okay.
I'll
I'll get with you in the morning.
Just call my office.
Okay.
We have a motion?
Motion approved.
Stanley, motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Larry Chesney?
Yes.
Stan Hedrick?
Yes.
Brian King?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right. Thank you, Darrell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is for a special exemption change of use at 3434 Sevierville Road, which is behind Pappy's Quilting Store.
This is a change of use request at the address 3434 Sevierville Road. The property is identified on tax map 38, parcel 149, and is zoned R1. This structure sits behind Pappy's Quilting on Sevierville Road. The grandfathered use was a cabinet shop. That use has been removed, and the owner would like to change the use to a family-oriented party place to be rented by the hour. I've included that as description for your review. Based on section 5.4 below, the board can approve such change of use if it finds that the proposed use is of lesser impact than the original. Impacts in this case could be type and amount of traffic, noise, and fumes or other odors. This structure is located on the same parcel as other existing businesses. And I'm just going to read a copy of this business description for the record. I can find it. Pappy's Party Place is a family-oriented rentable space by the hour,
Anyone here in favor of this request? Okay, step to the mic and give us your name, please.
Pardon me?
Step up to the mic and give us your name.
I'm sorry, I'm supposed to wear a hearing aid, but I left them, so.
Your name?
Pardon me?
Your name?
John Harrison.
John Harrison.
Uh-huh.
Do you have anything that you want to add to what Roger said?
No, I think everything is, that's what I've got in mind with it, so I don't know of anything else to add.
Do you own Pappy's Place?
Yes,
So you own Pappy's Place and this building both?
yes.
Any questions for John?
Is there anything in the building right now? Do you have anything, is it a vacant building or is there
It's a
something?
vacant building, right?
How long has it been vacant?
It was, Superior Kitchens rented it, and they paid their last rent in February. So that was, February.
John, are you going to upgrade the building? Or are you going to leave it the way it looks now?
No, it's a mess. It was really a mess. So
You're right about that.
The place had been there for 26 years. The cabinet place had been in the building for 26 years. So it had went 26 years, it was really a mess. So we've been in the process of redoing it, fixing it up, so, to make it a good place, make it a,
How are you going to monitor that when you lease this building out, somebody doesn't bring in alcohol?
well, with no alcohol, you say? Is that
Well,
what-
you made a statement here, it's going to be drug-free and alcohol-free.
Right, drug-free and alcohol-free. So if you came to me and said, I want, my family's all coming into town, we want to rent that building and have a party there, I would say that you have, on my contract, it says no alcohol or drugs on the premises and no smoking in the building. But if I come out there and everybody was drunk, then I would say, you've got to leave. This is what you agreed to. So you paid me for 4 hours or 8 hours of staying here, but you broke the rules. Then you've got to leave.
So
And then maybe call the law if it's a problem.
So it's going to be in your written contract.
Pardon me?
That stipulation is going to be in your written contract.
Right, it'll be in my, right. I'm gonna make up flyers when I get through and have all this there and have a contract where if you sign a contract for whatever length of time, for a day or whatever, how many hours you want the building.
Okay,
And you sign a contract and you pay for whatever that rent is.
okay.
What's a typical rent rate per hour?
Pardon me?
What's a typical rent rate per hour?
Well, I don't know. I have a person, and this is a customer, a woman that's interested. She rents from Allenwick Community Center. She got a 9-year-old daughter, and she's got other kids, and she teaches a dance class, and she teaches it at Allenwick. She rents the building out there. She pays $25 an hour for 4 hours. So what she pays there is $25 an hour. So I don't know, I don't think that's enough. What I've got to do when I get through this thing and try to figure out what it's gonna do to pay for itself.
Can't make no money at $25 an hour.
No.
Any other questions for John? You hear a motion?
Nobody objected?
Well, I just got this discussion about it.
Sure.
You know, if you approve this, it's just like what we're just talking about right there, that we need to make sure that, yeah, if it is approved and it's in writing, that no alcohol, you know, we don't want something coming back on us that you approve something that there's alcohol and this, you know, this is, well, it's changed, now they wanna do this. No, I guess, you know, can you do that, Roger, some way? You know, can you make that binding where, for this specific thing, for this event center thing?
I don't know that,
And I'm just thinking.
that would be a legal question for an attorney. I don't know that we've got that kind of a,
Authority.
yeah.
Well, let's follow up on Brian's point. We could attach this write-up that John has given us, based on this write-up,
Yeah,
then we'd be willing to approve it.
yeah,
He's describing here what he's going to do,
yeah.
so we'll attach that to it.
I'm just thinking if there's houses in that general area, right? And that's what I'm thinking of neighbors, you know, don't let something happen, but, yeah. Cause I'm thinking it could be a good thing, what he's wanting, as long as it's used like this, it's a good thing.
Sir, can I ask a question?
Sure. John, step up to the mic. Are you speaking in favor or opposed to this?
Do what?
This
He's
other
talking
gentleman.
to-
Oh, okay.
I've just got some questions.
Step up and give us your name.
My name's Jack Murphy. I've lived across from Pappy's for 23 years. A few summers ago, it was leased out to a group that had karaoke. Their permit was good till 11 o'clock at night. I've had to call the county police at 1 o'clock in the morning to have them to go over and shut them down. I noticed he says karaoke in his paper. And that was one of the worst things that happened in our community. The air conditioner was bad. They would open the doors, and nobody could have been in there sober, and you could have heard them to Townsend. And police came out and talked to them, told them they had to be good neighbors. But that never did work out. And finally, they went out of business. But this was in Pappy's Quilt Company facing us. They were in one side and karaoke was in the other side. I realize this is a building behind Pappy's, but this is a worse traffic area right here in Blount County. If you'll notice, across the road from Pappy's is a bunch of guardrails. We all live across the road. There's a wreck a week out there, and the state comes out there about every 3 months and replaces the guardrail. And we've all bought dozens of mailboxes. There's a little hill on each side of this parking lot. And also in this area, we've already got 2 places right down the road, 100 yards down the hill is Chester Franklin. He has an outdoor pavilion for weddings, parties. You all have probably seen that. 300 yards in the other direction on Peppermint Road, the county just put in a culvert for a guy over there in a driveway, and he's having weddings and parties on Peppermint Road. Do we need 3 of these things within 300 yards? You know, I would ask you to look at the traffic problems, really. That's my concern. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
May I speak?
Sure.
My name is Vernon Teer, T-E-E-R. I live at 3433 Sevierville Road, which is almost directly across the street from where this new venture is being proposed. My concern is the safety of the people who live right across Sevierville Road. I've lived there 6 years now. We've had 3 cars come up in our yard already. One has taken the mailboxes out. One has taken a tree out. And you're talking about bringing more and more people into this Sevierville Road area that is primarily a nice residential area. I know that the gentleman has indicated that there's going to be some kind of parties and children's gatherings and that sort of thing, possibly weddings. But if you drive back behind that area and look, I mean, it's almost like a repair shop back there, cars everywhere. And there is no place for children to play there. It is a gravel road going down through there. The access to the place that he's proposing to have this business is terrible. Where are the children going to play? Where are these parties going to be held? What are they going to do outside? This is just my opinion, gentlemen, but I'm speaking about kids who are supposed to be having a good time outside doing something, and there's no place for them to have an outside party to do anything there where he's proposing to have this business. The safety issue is certainly a factor, and the fact that you'd have a wedding in this place or some kind of get-together for a family is beyond me to believe that that would take place because of the condition of the area that it's really in. It's just an unsuitable area to have that kind of business back there. And I thank you for allowing me to speak to you tonight.
Good answer to that.
Anyone else here wants to be in opposition?
Hi, my name is Beth Forsyth, Forsyth, yes. And I live directly across the street from Pappy's. I'm directly across from there. And I'm, along with my neighbors, my husband and I both feel like that it is a safety concern as far as for children. And, you know, that is a busy road. And I'm with Mr. Murphy. I have seen the time when the Pappy's part was actually the karaoke. And I'm in the same situation that he was in when I lived there when that happened. The same thing with the noise. And I don't know if he's planning on doing anything as far as nighttime goes, but the parking lot there, Pappy's usually fills it up pretty well during the day, the quilting store does. And I don't know where the people are gonna park, what the proposed places are to park, and then they would have to walk down a hill. These kids are gonna be walking down a hill, and concern too, as far as children getting in the road, maybe trying to run out in the road, because right there where that is, it's terribly busy. And I also had a concern about, would there be anyone there to monitor the activities while the parties or whatever is going on there? Will there be someone there while these people are at the building to monitor what's going on? So that if there are any problems or anything like that, to where we wouldn't have to get involved and make a call to the sheriff or whoever may need to be contacted if there was a problem or anything like that. That's one of my concerns. And then also the lights, I didn't know if we were planning on putting lights in the parking lot area, if there's gonna be, people there after dark or anything like that, as far as a lot of lights going on like you're at a convenience store or something like that, because I really don't, that's not really something that I care to have across from my home. And I know the neighbors they'll all be shining everyone else's homes, the one beside there, and then everybody beside me. So, but the main concern also was the traffic, because as everybody knows, that is a rather busy road already. So that was some of my concerns and some of my questions that I had. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak in opposition? Okay.
My name is Fred Reagan. I lived right beside this place we're talking about. One of my concerns is, where's he going to park all these people? And is he going to be there to see it? There's no beer, alcohol there. And another thing is safety. I can't keep a mailbox up. The one that's up there now has been there a few months, but it's tore all to pieces. If I put a new one up, it'd be tore down tomorrow. So is Mr. Harrison going to be there personally to see that there's no beer, alcohol, or anything there? And who's going to be responsible for all the trash that they throw out blows over on me? So far today, I've picked up a Gatorade bottle, a Mountain Dew bottle, and an ice cream wrapper. It's that way every day. I have picked up a few $1 bills and one time a $5 bill, but that's very unusual. And I just want to know who's going to be responsible for all this stuff. If they get over there and tear up my property, who's going to be responsible for that? Can you answer me those questions? You call the sheriff, one of his deputies might come out and he might not. The fellow that he had rented out to had that cabinet shop there. One night there's a bunch of kids, young people, come down there, breaking in their trailer, stealing everything they had. I called the cops. About an hour later, one come out there, and he tried to talk to me like I was a fool. I finally got him to make them people open up their trunks. And when they did, they were all full of the guy's name that rented that place. I can't think of it right now. Trent something. But you call the cops, they don't do nothing. And is he going to be there to see if there's no beer and alcohol, no drugs, any of that thing? Is there anybody we can get any answers from on things like that? It's like he stated, every week or two there's somebody wrecks there. I've got a big poplar tree in my front yard right now. It's got a big place tore out in it. Woman come out there, she did break her leg. She eventually paid for it that way. But there's something like that all the time. And I'm concerned about my safety. More traffic out there. It's like he stated there a minute ago. He's got one place rented out back there to mechanics. They've got a bunch of junkers parked down through there alongside my property right now. We don't need anything like that out there. That's supposed to be a residential neighborhood. We have industrial parks. They could put stuff like that in. And our commissioner, when he come out there asking me to vote for him, he told me that he'd come and talk to me about any concerns I had. Well, that was the biggest lie since Hillary Clinton. Last thing come up, I called him. I couldn't get him on the phone, but I did get him an answering machine. I asked him to give me a call. Well, he hadn't called yet. So what are people work for a living supposed to do? That's about all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board? After this discussion, I think a legitimate question here is the parking that there is now, they would have to park in front of Pappy's place because there's no parking around the building behind it, correct?
They will be. They are parking there, but we're extending the place for parking in between Pappy's building and the building.
This is something I got for you on that is, I know that in the city, you got to have X amount of square footage. You got so many parking spots for square footage of your building.
If you look at these two buildings, I'm not sure there's places to park for the one behind. Today, there's a little gravel road that goes down to the left. So it's not clear to me where the parking would be.
How many square foot is this building? How big a building is it?
How big a building?
Yeah.
It is 2,100 square feet.
Okay.
The,
How are you going to modify that building to make it a rental place? What are you going to do to it other than just clean it up?
well, we went in and redone the floors, redone the ceiling, redone the walls, put the sheet rock up, insulating the whole thing. So we're making it, and as for kids being outside, it's not gonna, everybody be inside, we're renting the building, the inside of the building, and it's not gonna be that, the kids are gonna be out in the yard playing. When they have a birthday party there, then they'll be in the building.
Have you got a kitchen in it?
Pardon me?
Have you got a kitchen in it or any way to prepare food, or is it just an open space?
No, it's an open space, but we've got a place to make coffee, got a place to, a Coke machine.
And tables in it?
I plan on putting tables in it when I get it where I can. I'll put booths and tables in it and chairs. Huh?
Got bathrooms?
2 bathrooms. Now, I went with the fire commission and he'd been out, the commissioner, he'd been out there and lined out where the handicapped bathrooms will be, putting all the exit signs up for, and all the night lighting and the parking place, the handicap parking part.
How many people do you figure a 2,000-foot building would handle?
Pardon me?
How big of a party would a 2,000-foot building handle?
Well, the zoning or the people and where this come from, maybe the
He's
fire
speaking about the
marshal-
codes.
The fire marshal comes up and he said, "You've got 300 people." I said, "There ain't no way that you can put 300 people into that space." He said, "That's the space." So, I think 50 people would be a good amount to be there.
Do you have a target market you want to rent to, or just say, "I've got a space here, I'll rent it to you and you can do whatever in it"? How are you going to get business?
Well, I'm gonna advertise. I'm gonna advertise, and I'm gonna make up a flyer that tells what it is, and I've got. Well, I'm gonna advertise. I've got people. I know a lot of people, and everybody I've talked to. Whenever you get this ready, let us know. That we need something like this. Now, there's another place down the road. 2 more places within 3 miles of us, but they're big, large spots. They're not, we'll be a small 50-person, a limit of 50 people. What he said was 300. I said, "No way," but he said, "Well, 200. I said, "I think 100 at the most would be a good, but it's a
Are you going to have time limitations on it?
time.
time limitations?
Well, the time would be what, if you come in and you wanted to rent it from 8 o'clock till midnight, then that would be your time limitation. If you wanted it from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Well, if I
then
wanted it from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the night?
Well, I haven't thought about that, but you know, it could, well, now I do have to say that it's gonna be 10 o'clock. It'll be 10 o'clock before everybody, after 10 o'clock, it won't be rented, so.
Do you live out there close to it yourself?
Now, I live on Pea Ridge Road. I live 3 miles down the road.
Okay.
My concern would be is you've got a business in front of it, the quilting place, right?
Right.
Okay? And if these two functions are trying to operate at the same time, and if you've got a parking situation, you've got a parking situation.
Right, well, I think that I don't believe it'll be operated at the same time. Most of your parties and your birthday party and your wedding things are of an evening, say from 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock. And the quilt shop closes at 5 o'clock. So I think if we need the parking up there, then it can be worked together. You know, I think there'll be plenty of parking unless the quilt shop says we're gonna go till midnight and the place down there is busy. So, but I don't really see a big parking problem.
How many people could park right now at the quilting store? How many people could park there right now?
Well, have you ever counted the cars? Do you know how many?
If you fill that front, just that front part up, I would say probably maybe 8.
How many?
In the front,
80?
like the very front of the store, probably 8 cars in front of the store.
Oh, okay, but it's parked all.
If they park on the side, then there's not any
Brian, your aerial photo shows that there's 18 parked in it.
18?
18 on the aerial photo.
Well, from the front of the quilt shop to the road is 50 foot maybe. And then it's from property line to property line on each side, whatever the width of the property. But we have a lot of cars. During the quilt festival here a month ago, then they were probably 30 or 40 cars in there, and big Greyhound bus. I mean, they during the quilt show, then they bus people in to the quilt shop. But the quilt shop closes at 5 o'clock. And my ideal of the party place is being from 6 o'clock till 10 o'clock, or later on in the evening.
Is the quilt shop open Monday through Friday or 7 days a week?
6 days a week.
6, Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday, right.
8 to 5?
Pardon me?
8 to 5?
No, 9 till 5.
9 to 5.
9 till 5.
Any other questions, comments?
Motion.
Now, if we have a kid party, and I think this will be our biggest draw, I think from 5 to 10-year-old kids to have parties. I mean, I think that people are looking for a place for their kids, young kids, to have parties. So, and all the parties will be contained in the building. You know, it's not like we'll have a playground set up outside or a place for them to play outside.
You want a motion? I make a motion that we deny due to the fact that I don't think you've got a good firm plan on what you want to do. It could be a children's place, or it could be a karaoke place, or it could be a bingo place. It could be whatever you want to do. And I don't, that's an open-ended deal that we don't know what we're getting into. Based on that, I'd make a motion that we deny it.
we have a motion on the floor to deny. We have a second. So,
Let me read this motion back to you, see if this makes sense, Stan. Stan made a motion to deny based on the open-ended nature of the request.
That's, yeah, because we don't really, you can do anything in it, evidently.
Okay. So we got a motion and a second. More discussion?
did you want to add something?
The thing I would want to, we let the gentleman understand and know why it's being denied. Why, you know, if he needs game plan, he needs a precise game plan. He needs a business plan, you know, it needs to be more in detail than what he's got.
So it needs to be more specific.
More specific.
May I add that we would add his details around the parking?
It's a lot of it.
He just doesn't have a good plan, I don't think.
Okay. And which would include parking.
So do you want to add
Yes.
a more specific plan for the
Regarding-
nature of the business and parking?
Regarding parking, occupancy, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
What can I do with the building now? What can I do to not do nothing to it? Then I can rent the building out as a storage space or whatever. That's what it's been, is a storage and a.
Let us go through with this motion, and then we'll try to see if we can address your question.
Okay, I've got a motion to deny based on the open-ended nature of the request. BZA wants more specific plan on the use and parking. And that,
And a vote, yes, is to deny.
correct. Larry Chesney,
Yes.
Stan Hedrick,
Yes.
Brian King,
Yes.
that motion passed.
Okay, now, Roger, do you want to see if you could address his question?
Well, basically, from the time that the cabinet shop moved out, you could put another cabinet shop in there within 30 months. If you get a more specific plan and want to bring it in that's more detailed than this one and more narrowly focused, it'd have to go through this same process. It couldn't be the same exact request because they can't hear the same request twice. So maybe if you whittle it down to just one specific use.
Can I forget about this altogether and just rent it out to whatever, as a storage building for?
You could bring that
the
back
way it
in
is?
as a request.
Do I need to do anything? Can I not do it just like it is, like it stands?
They'd have to approve it.
So why all this time it's been approved or not been approved?
No, you had a grandfathered use. The cabinet shop was out there 26 years. That predates our zoning regulations. We just got zoning in the county in 2000. So a grandfathered use is allowed to carry on indefinitely.
Okay.
And that use can change hands. But if you change that use, it has to be approved by the BZA.
So I can put the cabinet shop use this place as storage. So I can rent it out as storage, and I can rent the cabinet shop.
You could rent it out to a cabinet shop. That's what that's what I'm hearing that it was used for. So that's what I'm saying. You could go back in if somebody wants to start a cabinet shop in there, you could rent it to
It has to
them.
be a cabinet shop. It can't be nothing else.
Right.
Okay. All right. Through?
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn? All in favor? Aye. This meeting is adjourned.